All right. Hello, 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 and welcome back to Mecha Mondays. I will be your pilot as ever, Fragath. And today, we got some more Mechwarrior 5, because that's just how it is. I have not painted this thing yet. So since last week, there have been a couple changes in my roster. Um, Not the least of which is I have run into a couple hero variants, some of which are quite solid and took some serious grinding to acquire, and I went a little overboard on that. Um, just doing missions over and over and selling basically absolutely everything you get. Um, it didn't actually take very long because I had a fair amount of money to begin with, around 13 mil, and then each one of these, a lot of them wound up being pretty cheap, so it wasn't too bad. But I got a Jaeger, which was the most expensive of the lot. I think it was something like 7 mil to get. It is not a particularly fantastic Jaeger mech variant, um, but it's not bad. And this is basically stock, I think. I don't think I changed anything on it. Dual AC2s, dual LRM-15s, dual medium lasers. Basic, but good. It has a bit less armor than I was hoping for a 65-ton mech, but Jaegers aren't exactly known for being durable. Um, there was a tweak I was going to make. I think I was going to remove a ton of LRM ammo and swap it for armor, because I gotta get more armor on my guns. But I didn't get around to it. It's basically pretty durable, and provided I don't do anything really dumb, it should be okay. The problem I'm running into now is because the missions I've been doing have not advanced my renown very much. Very much. I'm actually kind of caught in an awkward position where the missions I'm being offered don't have very high tonnage limits. Contracts. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let's just check the market real quick. There's a fire starter. There's a javelin. There's a locust. That's right. I am the. I also got some pretty fancy weapon variants, such as an LB-10X, which I didn't actually think was in the game. Um, I have not equipped it on anything because I only have the one, and I don't want to lose it. So for those uninitiated with the difference between various uh, autocannons um, and weapon variants within the BattleTech verse, they basically run. Let me grab actually you, because I can use you as a pretty good case in point. Um, and I think I've been over this loosely in my previous stream, but at the cost of repeating myself, I will, or at the risk of repeating myself, I'm going to repeat myself. So autocannons, ACs, are ballistic weapons. Ballistic weapons. Um, and they all have differing properties. The key thing is the larger the number, the more damage it does. Now, in this game, they've got in BattleTech in general, there are a bunch of different autocannon variants. You have AC2s, AC5s, AC10s, AC20s, and those each will shoot one projectile of varying size and caliber, which will do whatever amount of damage. Um, there are also variants on those. There are the uh, UACs or Ultra ACs, which fire faster but tend to have a chance to jam, among other things, depending on the game they're in. Um, they tend to be better. They're also very advanced tech, and you're not really going to see them here in all likelihood. You've got racks, uh, rotary autocannons, which fire very quickly. Basically a Gatling gun arrangement, multi-barrel arrangement. And you also have uh, these BFs, which are burst fires, which sort of act like a pseudo, uh, kind of a gameplay hybrid, um, trying to infringe on the LBX line. Um, And what I've got here is this LB10X cannon solid slug. So an LBX, LB number X is any autocannon that basically shoots multiple projectiles in one shot. So if you've got like basically acting like a shotgun. So with a AC2 and LB2X would be like firing probably just two projectiles in one little pop. An LB5X would be traditionally rendered as like 5, LB10X, ultimately all with the goal of delivering a certain amount of damage of a certain size tier and caliber tier that'll the often having a higher total damage than a regular autocannon shot, but doing it over a wider area. That's balance. Um, so in this case, we have an LB10X, which if I can get a direct comparator here, I have an AC10 here somewhere. Where are my AC10s? Why are they all over the place? I don't know. Here we go. Let's do it that way. That should put it right next door. There we go. Granted, this is also a tier 3, I think. A tier 3, which is fancy, fancy, fancy. I don't have a tier 3 AC10, unfortunately, but we'll just deal with it. And this is a solid slug, so I don't know if it's just shooting a single projectile, which means it's kind of called an LB10X, but it's just sort of ghettoed in there. In any case, bottom line is it shoots faster, it generates less heat. Admittedly, that's probably because it's a tier 3. Um, it is a considerably longer range for some reason, and LBXs tend not to. In any event, you also have lasers, and in lasers you have um, small, medium, and larges, or SMLs, small laser, medium laser, or medla. Medlas, small las, and large las, lays, whatever. Um, you also have pulse variants of all of those, so uh, a small, an SPL, small pulse laser, MPL, medium pulse laser, and then large PL, LPL, large pulse laser. You also have ER lasers, which is extended range. Those fire longer, over longer distances. They tend to be heavier and generate more heat, or take up more slots and generate more heat. Pulse lasers also tend to generate more heat, but they have a much shorter firing time, but do comparable or more amounts of damage than a regular laser fire would do. They also tend to be somewhat shorter range often, but not always. Um, so basically, pulse lasers are great for more damage over a shorter period of time. And I have a couple of those floating around. Though I think I've stripped them off of most of the mechs that can field them because they're a bit too expensive to replace if I have to replace them, and I'd really rather not. So we're going to hop right into it because I've jabbered enough. And we've got a assassination mission. I've done a lot of these. Um, I have made some serious progress with House Davion, who are generally considered the quote good guys unquote, um, which is debatable. No one's really that good a guy in BattleTech. Um, where are you? Where's my Jaeger? There's my Jaeger. I'll take the Jaeger. It is heavy though. Let's see, these are 55 tonners. The Griffin is a 55 tonner. I'm going to have to make someone be in something lighter. That's why we have the Jenner. Jenner's got some pretty decent kill power on it, but it is a fragile mech, unfortunately. That leaves me at what, 150 of 160? I can bump something into a Griffin. Which Griffins do I have? I've got one with a PPC and a Lerm 10, and I've got one with a bunch of lasers. This one is... they're both about as well armored, which you'd kind of expect. Would that I had a Cicada. I do actually have one, but I'd have to bring it out of storage, and I'm not really down with that. I'm going to use the PPC because I've found the AI is actually pretty good with long range high power per shot weapons. The disadvantage is that the enemy AI is quite good, as it turns out, at targeting individual components that it deems dangerous. And so if you slam something with an AC-20, like this Hunchback is equipped with, they're going to take one look at that and be like, I'm having none of that. I'm going to shoot that gun out, which is a thing you can do. It is part of the BattleTech thing, is you can prioritize certain components. This isn't flashy enough. That's too edgy. That's extremely not red. There we go. That's better. It's more of a chartreuse. And let's make that, I don't know, a blue. Blues are easy to contrast with. There we go. It's fine. We go with bright colors so we can see ourselves. That's why we do it. It's a co-op game, damn it. If it were competitive, yeah, I wouldn't be as brightly colored. You're darn right. Let's see. What was the other one? It was a Griffin. I think it was the PPC Griffin. I do have a couple spare PPCs and Lerm 10, so if he loses one of those, I can deal with it accordingly. The AI is not great at swiveling its body parts to avoid fire on specific components, so in all likelihood he's going to lose this limb, and probably this torso too. Disadvantage of this Griffin is that it does not A, it's got a really big head hitbox, and B, it just has the two guns. That could be a problem. In fact, I'm having second thoughts already. But what I'm gonna do... No, I'm not gonna do that. It does have JJs. I'm gonna have to do some tweaks on that. Jump jets are not a bad idea. Jump jets are what let you fly. I don't think this has jump jets, does it? You know what I'm gonna do? No, that's not what I wanted to do. Contracts. I'm gonna put him in the Centurion, because the Centurion is a durable boy. Has a lot of armor. Total armor. It's not exactly ideal. And I'm going to use missiles a lot, because I've got 2 tons of the things, which is something like a lot of missiles is what it's like. It's like a lot of missiles. We'll find out our exact totals in a minute. I may have to do some on-the-fly tweaking of my weapon groupings. And weapon groupings are basically... Yes, I'm bright and pretty and fabulous.
Reactor online. Sensors online.
So I've got some burst AC2s on this, which means they're going to do like a little burst, obviously. Okay.
We're tasked with making sure that we find them and put them in the ground. Good hunting, everyone.
That's fine. Actually, I'm going to set those to chain fire just in case. 900, 880 ammo. Ow, what the... Yeah! Yeah! It's not an invisible wall, per se. So there's a bunch of locations the assassination targets could be at. So we're going to go... We have a couple options. We can start there, work our way over. We can go right down the middle to that one, and then work our way around. Or we can go this way, which is what I'm doing. So AC2s should have a pretty good range. Yeah, 720 range is pretty good. So I can do some pretty solid long-range engagements. But I'm not that... That is actually a fairly good question. Oh, I just realized my weapon grouping is weird. I'm going to set these all up for chain fire. I can always double tap. So medium laser, shooty gun, shooty gun.
Target acquired.
And,
Target is down.
hittles rather than missiles. Ammo is not done per weapon. It's done per weapon type. Lasers, lasers do not require ammo. Something hit me with a PPC. Wow, I'm about to lose my arm. What is my... Okay, so I do have to keep an eye on my AC2 ammo. Jeez Louise. I gotta be a bit more careful. In fact, what I'm gonna do... I'm gonna tell my allies to push ahead. No routing available. Then unblock it. You're in a giant stompy robot.
IFF readings are showing all targets at this location, Commander.
Oh, that's
Approach with caution.
less than ideal then. Because I kind of don't want them all together like that. I was hoping they'd be spread out a smidge. They are not. Okay, here we go. That is, I think, a Phoenix Hawk. I'm just gonna go for the kills. I don't...
Enemy mech down. Target acquired. Targeting info updated.
Okay, so I'm about to lose both my arms. Oh, hello. Is that a 4P? That's a 4P. I want that.
We're on your target, Commander.
Okay, so now I've got a slight problem.
Let's get that thing.
Please shoot it. If I get killed or... No, actually, since I've lost 2 sets of weapons, I'm probably going to wind up...
Target eliminated.
I don't think we're going to salvage that one.
Engaging with Lance.
So, things have not gone great this mission.
Component lost.
That's the PPC gun, probably. I'm reduced right now.
Friendly fire. Friendly fire.
To just my medium lasers.
Pan, component lost.
Fortunately, my torso armor seems to be pretty adequate. Is that a spider? Yeah, it is. Oh, I've lost a mech. Shit, I'm gonna have to redo this one. In fact, I am going to redo this one. If I lost a mech, I can't really afford that. Maybe I should have... whatever. I have a save from right beforehand, so I can switch things around if I absolutely have to. That's not a big deal. The problem is getting the enemies to reveal themselves and then getting to a vantage point where I can, in fact, deal with them. That is kind of the problem. Because the Jaeger kind of relies on pretty good sight lines, which are not something I have much of. Not there, anyway.
Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online.
See if my weapon
All
group stayed
systems
intact.
nominal.
Probably not. They did not.
So you will have to search the area and ensure that everyone on our list is found and dealt with before we can pack it in.
I'm gonna leave the medium lasers on chain fire. This time we're gonna go and circle all the way around. Alternatively, we can just bust in and take care of the joint first thing, because that's where we know they are. I'm not even 100% sure it hit me there. It hurt, though.
Target acquired.
I got it.
AC-2s are great for aircraft. Projectile flies quickly.
Target acquired.
Got another one.
It's long range, so you can take them out from a distance.
Target destroyed.
Target is down.
Okay, these are much better sight lines.
Here, Commander. Watch yourself.
So let's see if we can't use cover a little better this time.
Target acquired.
Shifting to your target, Commander.
Keeping an eye out for the targets that are over there.
Let's get that thing.
Target destroyed.
Splash target.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Okay. I can't walk up that hill, it's too steep. Alright, so what I'm gonna try to do first is get around this hill. Jeez Louise, come on, there we go. Is lure one of them out and see if I can't, oh, I don't know, shoot him to pieces. trying to look above and beyond, and I'm not really seeing. There we go.
Target acquired.
So LRMs generate quite a lot of heat. My allies decided it would be a great idea to just hop right on in there. So I've got to YOLO it. I'm not too thrilled about that.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Freeman, I expected to be in trouble because he's in the Jenner. I knew that. Gonna bet. Come on.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
There we go. He did. So that went pretty well. Okay, so there's dudes who just popped up over there. Thanks. Why would you jump in front of me like that? That was terrible. Okay, I'm heading for extraction because I've got some serious repair and rearm to do. Edge of my ammo is pretty low, actually. Is it down to 38 rounds? Yeah, I'm just getting out of here. That time I did better personally, but my allies kind of got shellacerated. That was a better angle to approach from. Of course, my allies just charged in there, which was less than ideal, but the AI is not exactly a wizard. It gets a little better, but oh, here we go. What do we got? Can I claim it? I can't. It's just outside my ability. I can sell the assassin for a fair mint, so I'll do that. It's a tier 2 machine gun. I can make use of that. Other way. There we go. I think that's exactly how it was arranged before, but okay. I can sell some of these. I have 10 of them. I've been meaning to sell some anyway. There is, as far as I know, no limit to the number of weapons you can have at any given time. Ah, wow. He was almost destroyed. So, damages were almost exclusively the Jenner. That's why you bring heavier mechs when you can. We've learned this for next time. Okay, what do I have to repair and replace? 2 medium lasers. I will consider myself having gotten off lightly. Let's get 2 medium lasers on there. And let's repair the whole damn shebang. Jenners are a pretty decent light mech, in my opinion, because they are pretty well armed for their weight. What I'm probably going to do is get rid of the JJs because the AI does not know how to use them. Um, let's do some refurbishment here. So that freed up. And when I say JJ, I mean jump jet. Let's max the armor. What does that do for me? There. That makes it a fairly durable light mech. So I'm going to do that. He was going to need to do some serious time in the shop anyway, so this is fine. I can actually afford it. With this thing, though, let me see my other assassin. Which assassin? It's the same model, so I'm going to edit the loadout here. I'm going to strip. I'm going to strip armor. I'm going to repair these components, which will in fact put me in the hole a bit to do, ironically. But I'll be able to sell this for a fair mint, so it's okay. Um, which is precisely, in fact, what I'm going to do. For my Jaeger, actually for this, what have I lost? Anything important? It did lose an arm, but it's not the important arm, I don't think. Yeah, it's not. There's nothing equipped on that arm. So I'm just going to go back to Battle Mechs, and I'm just going to do repair. It's going to cost me a bundle, but again. And I think for me, it's just armor. I don't think I got any structural damage at all. Yeah, just armor. I am going to have to do some tweaks. I think I'm gonna take out a ton of LRM ammo against my better judgment. Because that'll still give me, if it's 440 rounds, that's what? I've got an alarm 30, so 440, whoops. 440 divided by 30 is 14 volleys total. That's fewer than I'd like. But I need more armor on this thing. I need more armor on the arms at the very, very least. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to move the AC2 ammo into the leg. Head ammo is actually not a terrible idea. Because if somebody's going to blow up your head, you're dead anyway. It's not actually a good idea. It's a terrible idea, but depending on the game you're in, sometimes it's not a horrible plan. You could do a lot worse. No. Revert. Gives me a ton. Repair all. that and into... Out of those, I don't need 30 armor. I don't even need 30 armor. I don't need 32 armor, certainly. I'm going to bump up the armor because it needs it. And from here... Let's... Let's see. Just don't get hit in the rear. That's a bit better. I could probably reduce this even further. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. AI tends not to go for your legs, I have found. So leg armor is not as critical, but I want to play it a little safe because I have ammo there. It's a little important. Um, yeah, I can work with that. How many AC2 BFs do I have? I have a couple. I rather like those, though I'm tempted to swap them to regular AC2s for added precision. But you fire a bit quicker with these. What I might do is set those to chain fire and be a bit more, a bit less liberal rather with them. I'm going to start work. I'm also going to tweak my Griffins edit. Details. I do not need all these jump jets, which frees up a fair amount of room for whatever I want to equip. It doesn't have anything its left arm. I do have my precious ER large. I'm not going to put that there because they are just going to target this arm anyway. We're going to max that out. Shoot. Shoot is right. I have more armor than I know what to do with. Or more weight than I know what to do with. That's 5 tons, that's 5 tons. I do have a couple of these. I might be able to swap one of those in there. What I'm thinking is swap some stuff around. Okay, I do need to set it so that I have like an even tonnage. There we go. Okay, we'll do that. So that leaves me 2 tons to work with. Pulse lasers are what? Those are 2 tons a pop. So I can replace these medium lasers with medium pulses, and that will give me a pretty dangerous mech. Well, one-armed dangerous mech, I should say. I could also eschew... That's not what I wanted to do. The mech bay for this game is kind of infuriating. It is a small missile slot. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one spec for brawling. Can I put an SRM-4 in there? Yeah, I can. I have a couple SRM-4s spare. Means I gotta remove LRM ammo and replace it with SRM ammo. Head ammo. energy weapons. How much? Okay, that's 2 tons if I wanted to go that way. Lord's Light, adorable. Because I could make this thing into a pretty dangerous beast. It would run a little hot, um, but not that hot. Having a large laser and 2 mediums? Jeez. Medium pulses. Do I have a large pulse? I don't think I do. I have an ER large. You know what? Oh, I have 2 of these? Shit. Get out of here. Get out of here. Give me my medium pulses. I think this could be a pretty beneficial arrangement. So the difference between a medium and a medium pulse is pretty substantial. Here you've got like the basic stat breakdown. You've got 5.5 damage for the duration of its beam, which is, I don't know, like a second and a half, 2 seconds. Um, you've got, is that rounds per minute, RPM, times it can fire in a minute. You've got um, its range, which is noticeably larger than the medium pulse by like 50 meters, whatever. Um, but the damage adds up quick. You fire pulses faster. They hit harder. They also weigh more. They hit harder over a shorter period of time, and that is significant. So I am actually gonna swap these in here and pilot this thing myself. This thing is gonna be lethal in close range. The problem is if they take out my arm, I'm in deep, 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 deep trouble. And I'm gonna start work on that. I'll probably let an AI use the Jaeger. The AI is okay at using missiles properly. Oh, on my other Griffin, let me edit you. I'm gonna leave this Griffin's loadout basically the same, because I think the AI can probably make use of it. I just have to get rid of the jump jets. And move the LRM ammo somewhere, literally anywhere else. And then that leaves me with a fair amount of armor to work with. Pump it up, pump. Oh, that's already there. Let's max armor and see what that does. That actually still leaves me with some weight to work with. That's not bad at all. That's a good problem to have. Heat-wise, we're okay. We're okay. This will probably be a chariot for my AIs, because they can make good work with the PPC. PPCs are solid. I haven't used them too much in the actual release of the game, but in the beta slash demo, I did quite a bit. That leaves me with, oh, it's less than a ton. What I might do is I'm actually gonna change around the. Most of the damage they're taking is going to be frontal, so I'm going to leave it at that. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to pop these down to 30, which is going to free me up I can get like another heat sink or something in here. What does that do for me? Not much. Not much in truth. Let's get another heat sink in there. Because it's not going to use all this ammo. In fact, I could probably take out a ton, because it's not going to use all of it. Because that's 44 volleys that it's just probably never going to use. So we're gonna do that and start. Pricey because I'm in a war zone, but you can do worse. I would have liked that Hunchy 4P though. Laser Vomit builds are pretty handy. Okay, star map. Let's see, what do we got here? What do we got? We got a raid or demolition. Demolition. Demolitions can be hard or easy. It kind of depends. I've had ones that are exceptionally dangerous, where they wind up spawning wave after wave of mechs and units. But some of them, if you're just really quick, bop in there, blow stuff up, and walk out, they can be pretty profitable. You don't get much in salvage. Speaking of which, let's go to equipment and let's go to our number owned. I can sell a couple of these off for a fair profit. Oh, nope, that's them. I want to sell that. I want to sell my stuff. Roll. I'm going to keep the medium lasers. 6. I don't need that many of those, and that'll cover my next bill, as it were. Star map. Let's let's check out. Is there a black market down here? There isn't. Let me check out the black market here, and then I can bop over to Bremond. The black markets have so far been pretty disappointing, actually. I have not been overly impressed. This system has a black market. Show me your wares. Irby. It's a fair large laser. I've got a couple of those already. These actually are not bad that they have here. Oh, I already have a couple of those. That's interesting. I don't know when I got them. I would have thought I'd notice. But, let's see. Oh, that's my inventory. I want to know what they have. That's embarrassing. It took me much too long to figure that out. Okay, yeah, that's what I expect. That's pretty basic plain Jane. If you need to resupply in a hurry, it's not a bad idea, but okay, so star map, let's go over to Bremond and see what we got here. So the genner's been refitted. Ooh, bit of lag there. I think it just doesn't like being streamed at the moment. I have my settings up fairly high. That probably isn't helping, but performance is basically okay. Nope, nope, nope. Oh, okay. Let's find where I put that assassin and get rid of it. Since I've already got one. There we go. Money. And there was nothing in the barracks, right? Okay, contracts. Let's see what we got. I'm not going to be able to get anything from either of these, I don't think. That's not much for salvage shares. Let's switch into this griffin. Which frees up 10 tons. The Jenner is 35. Do I have a 45 tonner I can strap him into? Or what's the Centurion? Centurion's a 50. Irk. Awkwardness. I'd like to have everyone in mediums if I can. It is looking like it is not possible at this time. Oh, I just don't know math. Don't worry about me. I'm going to put him in this griffin, I think. Because it's durable. Yup. And I'll leave him in the Centurion. Okay, let's do our paint jobs real quick. Painting. Mech bays are like where all the work gets done. And this is the... Where are you? AI, edit loadout. Not edit loadout. That's the wrong button. Paint. We're gonna make him very blue, I think. Very blue indeed. Yes. Yes. Make this, I don't know, make that a bright pink. A bright green? A bright red? I said bright. Thank you. We're going with primaries here. That's what we've decided now. There we go. Should be easy enough to keep an eye on. And let's change mine. Paint. And we're going to go with... some noisy stuff here. Alright, so now that everyone's retinas have been burned out of their heads the hard way. Confirm lance, and let's do it. I don't really like mechs that have just the one limb. Armed. I do not like it much at all. I can't wait till I get an assault mech. I cannot wait. Absolutely cannot wait. I like arm-mounted weapons. That's fine. I mean, I guess if I had a preference, I'd say all torso, but because they're going to be gunning for that anyway. But at the same time, because arms tend to be one of the first things to go.
Reactor online. Sensors
Okay.
online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Let's do some tweaks. ER large can be primary. That's... Wow! That was quick. Did not have to search long. I'm gonna just blow this stuff up. Which arm did they target? They targeted my right arm, which is the one I can't lose. So that's not great. Okay. With my ER large, though, I can... You see that engagement range? That's ER large engagement range. It's not running too hot either, which I like. Alright. So one of the things I've also... Oh! I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that either. There you are. That, I think, is a 4P. So what I want to do is I want to either leg him or head him. I don't think I'm going to be able to get a good leg on him, or a head on him, rather, so I'm going to go for the legs. Now this thing can really mess my day up. I can see him gunning from my... Got him. I don't think I'm going to be... Oh, jeez Louise. Okay. We're actually doing pretty well here. Griffin's pretty well armored. I give it credit. More armored than I remember them being. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell my broskies to go that way. And yeah, you bet I can actually hit him from here. ER larges are awesome. I'm gonna tell them to kill that locust. I don't want it alive.
We've got eyes on the primary. Drop them before their friends show up. Amazing, Commander. Nice kill. That's even going critical.
Target acquired. Target destroyed.
Got another one. Target received. Engaging.
Oof. He's just blowing up his own stuff there. Yeah, it does like to do that, unfortunately, is walk right. It's not gonna hit, so I'm just gonna keep poking. I am grazing his head.
Target.
Got our target. Nicely done. That's the last of them, Commander. We fulfilled our contract, Commander. Let's get you out of here now.
Oh, jeez.
Shared target identified.
that's not great.
Listen, it happens. Shanty fire. Nice kill, Commander. It's going crit.
Yeah, don't stand on it, though. Idiot. Thing is expensive.
Target is down.
Okay, so things went fine until they weren't going fine, so I'm just gonna get out of here. I didn't lose any components, though they definitely hit on the arm pretty hard. So I've lost an AC-10 uh, of some make or mark on that Centurion. I can replace that. That's not a problem. Pretty good. Let's see. I would have preferred that 4P, but we'll live. I don't have the shares to get it. I can sell the fire starter for some serious mint, so I'll do that. I can sell that too. Is there's like ammo or something I can make use of here? No, there isn't. So we're good. Got 1,000,000 from it. That's not too bad. Considering it just kind of plopped me in there and caused me some serious issues. Ooh, he got badly hurt. He might have lost the missiles too, which would be unfortunate. Okay, edit, strip, and repair. Oh, I'll lose a bit, but I'll gain more. Okay, let's see the damage here. I did keep the SRM-6. That's actually very good. I would have preferred not to lose that, but it is replaceable. So not that big a deal. And AC-10. I'm going to just put a regular AC-10 in there. Yeah, that'll do. I think someone got an ammo crit on him, which was part of the problem. That happens. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen once they strip armor. Okay, and for these it should just basically be, and I'll double check to make sure, should just be armor replacement, which is going to be relatively cheap. Yeah, relatively. Okay, not too shabby. So I've got this noble cause mission I've got to do. I'm not going to bother with this. I don't care enough. Defenses are much more trouble than they're worth, in my opinion. I'll just do this assassination real quick. I'm going to go to wait, and now I'm going to go for it. It is the same tonnage, fortunately. Tempted to switch this out with the Hunchback, but the Hunchback's going to run into a lot of the same problems, in that it will be targeted pretty hard and heavy. And the Centurion has slightly more armor and can zombie a bit better. I say it can zombie, but I'm going to leave it at that. We'll just do the same basic idea that we did before. I'm going to use my missiles pretty liberally, though. I was doing okay last time, I thought. SRMs have a lot of nice punch. They hit pretty hard. The thing with SRMs, though, is you need a lot of them. They wind up having to take up more slots than you'd expect, but they're pretty good. Because you only have up to, for comparable number of actual missiles, and they can overheat you pretty quick. I think I've only got an SRM-4 in here, but it does work.
Online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
And what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to set up an alpha strike on my 4 key. Okay, what do we got? We got 2 different locations. I'm going to circle around.
These seasonal colors here make it hard to see anything in the underbrush. Keep your eyes peeled.
He's right, you know. So we're going to just raise the forest to the ground, I guess. And what we're going to try and do is swivel around enemies where my left side will be facing them. So swiveling around like this in a circle as best we can. Right now, this approach is not ideal because it's going to require a bit more doing to actually make that happen. Okay, so they've already shellacked my damage dealing arm. Move. I don't think I can hit that from here, but I'm going to try it.
Target acquired. Target
Oh,
destroyed.
what do you know? ER larges. They do what they do. Clank.
Enemy destroyed.
Let's see. I want to be careful. I think there was a tank down there.
Looks like we're at the wrong place, Commander. Our target must have given us the slip. Let's check out the other locations.
Where do you go? Oh, there it is.
Acquired. Target destroyed.
Alright, let's get out of here.
Flash target.
Target destroyed.
Okay, this is not working out well. Now you can see they're targeting my right arm pretty
Target is down.
accurately. I give a lot of credit that the AI is pretty competent about actually targeting things. It did not start out that way, but it has done a pretty good job. A lot of it is related to the aggro system they have, if you are the first thing to shoot at an enemy, they are going to target you. They are going to shoot you a lot, and it's going to hurt. Okay, I don't want to jump down here. If I had JJ's, yeah. Oh. Is this turret?
Target is down.
Target acquired.
Enemy destroyed.
Oh, there's a tank there. Embarrassing. Anything in there?
Target acquired.
So I can see these guys here. But if I kill them outside their range, and that... oh shit, I've got a phone call. Okay, that's not too important. It wasn't too important, I should say. Missed. I need to be facing a different direction. There we go.
Tango eliminated.
There's something with... oh, it's a crab? Oh, I want that.
Shared target identified.
So things that are dangerous about crabs is they are very resilient because of the way they're designed. I want that crab. You basically won't get headshot kills on them because their profile is too wonky.
Peak critical.
I did not get his gun. Probably about to shut down.
Enemy mech down.
Oh shit, they're dropping more right on top of my head.
Target acquired.
Taking heavy damage.
Peak critical.
Shit.
On your target.
Oh Christ, I've actually lost one of my characters. That's bad. Stop it. Okay, I can now get about the dirty business of actually killing this dude while running hot enough to cook eggs.
Target acquired.
I may have to say the hell with it.
Heat critical.
That was way too much of a turn there.
Heat critical.
I have all targets showing up as KIA.
Jeez
Let's
Louise.
go.
So this did not go very well. I will consider it well worth my time if I miraculously manage to get a crab out of it, but I won't, probably. I would like a crab. Crabs are great. Their arms are a little exposed, but man, they're very hard to kill, and I would love to put either myself or AIs into it. I like how my head is almost completely unscratched. I appreciate that. Let's just get the hell out of here. Because I have an entire mech I need to replace. I'm tempted to rerun that. Yeah, no. Oh, I was only gonna have 6. I wasn't gonna be able to get a crab anyway, so I'm tempted to rerun that just to recoup my mech loss there, because the damage payout that they gave is not gonna cover it all. Hey, he survived. That's cool. The mech didn't, but he did. Actually, I think the gun arm survived too. So I just have to replace 2 medium lasers, basically. That was a pretty nasty series of hits, though, and I got hit bad because I was taking a lot of aggro. Okay, let's see the damage, and then we'll decide if we're gonna go and rerun that mission. Probably not. Edit loadout, how bad? Okay, those are a complete loss. The gun isn't. That's nice. Would have preferred to keep the tier 2 medium laser, though. Do I have a replacement? I have... Yes, I do. In fact, I have replacements for both slots if I so chose. Thank God it wasn't a pulse laser. Then I would have been upset. Okay, let's get one of use in there and one of use in there. Actually, what's the real difference there? 0.25 of a damage. Doesn't really matter. I'm gonna put a regular or one of those in there. And now I just have to repair everything. Startle. And repair. Let's actually check how bad the damage is here. Wow, I don't think he took any structural damage. He took a little structural damage on the torso that has no reason to be shot at, but okay. That's fine. I'm going to repair everything. I'm going to... yes, continue. Oh, because I'm stupid. I forgot to hit start work. And I've got to see how bad I'm damaged. I did lose an arm, but it's not an important arm. I did take damage to one of my lasers, but I can repair it. Thank goodness, as well as to my SRM-4. And to a heatsink, big deal. Yeah, I got clobbered. I got clobbered pretty bad. Um, but it's doable. It is manageable. And plus, this fire starter will be done, and that'll basically pay for all the damage I've taken. I think. Okay, correction, I hope. Alright, star map. Let's see. Ooh, rare weapon on the market. Could be something good there. So I'm going to travel over there. So anything that's connected by these light blue dotted lines usually is a good place to check out. Usually is an industrial zone or similar. I may check out this area. I think this is the area where I got one of my rare mechs from. We're going to go there. And I'm going to move on and probably do the story mission next. So yeah, you can just kind of roam this giant star chart throughout the galaxy. Um, really? They have UAC 5s? Really? Shoot. Let me get in on that. I don't care. Equipment. The other way. There we go. They only have the one of each. Really? I thought they didn't have UACs. I thought this was too early in the timeline. What year am I in? Because damn, dude. Having an additional medium pulse laser would be very nice, so I'm definitely grabbing that. I mean, I'm grabbing the UAC as well. And I'll get the burst fire AC2. So they go up to tier 4, and that's what you can get regularly, but there will also be an additional tier 5, I believe, which is just kind of this big golden background, I think. And those are exceptional. Those are like a full 50% better in every respect, um, except for maybe weight, over a regular like tier 0 or tier 1 model. They're extremely good. But they're rare. They're rare as hell. Fortunately, I also have a good relationship with House Davion, so these are a lot less expensive than they otherwise would be. 25% less. So I'm definitely grabbing that, and I absolutely want a UAC 5. Yes, thank you. Gimme. Anything else here? I don't really need an AC-20 burst fire. Large lasers, I do need ammo for the UAC 5. Let me do that. 80 rounds per. I didn't even know they had UACs here. I really didn't. That's cool. I fully expected they wouldn't have ultra auto cannons in this game at all. No, I don't need another one. I've got a fair spread of AC-20s, and not very many mechs to use them on. I don't have many mechs with large ballistic hard points. Oh, if this is done, I can sell you. Market. Inventory. Fire starter. You know, the one I don't use. Yeah, getting a solid mill off that, which recoups most of what I just spent, which is good. I won't be getting rid of that spider. This spider. Oh my gosh. I haven't been running into too many enemies that use large, copious amounts of LRMs, long-range missiles. But this has 2 AMSs on it. This thing is actually well kitted. Um, it's got two AMSs, and again, like I've intimated before, AMSs are a tad rare um, in this game. And I think they scale with your ballistic skill as well. But this thing is a monster. Um, I mean, it has machine guns, and machine guns are whatever, are what they are. Um, I'm not a fan, but it's got medium laser slots. It's got an SRM4 of all things. Um, it's pretty beastly. Double heat sinks take up 3 slots, unfortunately, so I can't stick them in legs like I'm accustomed to doing. So it's leg ammo all the way. I'm just gonna cancel all that. There we go. So yeah, that's a pretty good spider. By comparison, the hero javelin. Oh wait, no, which was it? Was the commando? No, the commando's okay too. The javelin's. Oh my gosh, this hero javelin. It's got dual SRM6s. This thing gets up in your face and you die. It just walks up to you and knocks on your door and says knock knock, and you say who's there, and it says SRM 12 to the face, and you say, oh God, I wish you were a Jehovah's Witness, because it'll end you. It'll end your life. Um, Very strong for a light. This thing is exceptionally dangerous. This thing walks into a room and you want to kill it because it's dangerous. The commando was a little less impressive. Hero that I was able to get a hold of. Um, I mean, for a commando, it's good. Let's check its internals. It does have double heat sinks, um, so it's not going to overheat, and it's well armored also for a commando, because commandos are among the lightest of the light. But yeah, quad medium lasers on a commando. Jesus Christ, dude! Like, isn't that a little excessive? It's pretty good. Is what it is. It's pretty good. Battle mechs and the edit loadout. This also has double heat sinks, and jump jets. I guess if you want to dart around, it's got a lot of jump jets actually. Um, this thing can practically fly. It's lighter armored than I'd prefer, um, but pretty good. Unfortunately, they're lights, and if it's not me or somebody I know piloting one, no good pilots here. I'm looking for pilots with a high skill cap. Um, so anything above 25 is preferable. Anything above 30 is ideal, and anything higher than that is what we're going for, is what we want. In fact, these lights are so good, I am tempted actually to dispense with my Jenner and put it, even though it's well armored. What's the Commando's armor? 176 is pretty pitiful. 128, very pitiful. 144. So the reason to keep the Jenner is because it's a durable light. And God knows there aren't enough of those in the world. So what I'm going to... Oh, let's go to market and double check their mechs. Yeah, nothing. So star map. Let's, real quick, just check the area. Okay, so there's stuff I want to take there. Those are not story missions. Those are just probably a branch. Well, they call them high reward quests, which means they're usually a branching path, multi-part affair. What I'm gonna do before that, I think, is go to. I have to keep an eye on my money here. Is go to Marduk or Tripoli. Marduk is probably the quicker route there. So we're in 3019. I didn't think you had. Well, they're not entering mass production, so it is a rarity. Because UACs, from what I remember, are lost tech until basically what, a little before the clan invasion. They're not common, I don't think. Um, I'm just mulling that over in the back of my head this entire time. I'm like, I thought there weren't UACs here. Ooh, a trebuchet? Ooh, gimme. Go away, I don't care about you. I care about you. Um, so trebuchets or tree buckets are tend to be missile boats par excellence. Um, this one is not that much different than the except it's got Artemis 4 on there, um, which makes missiles track better. How much is it? Oof, expensive. Ugh, I could do it. I could do it. Let's check my star map, see if there's any other rarities here. I need to know. I need to know what this one is, because if this winds up being a really expensive assault or heavy, I want to get that instead of the trebuchet. I don't need the trebuchet at this point, because the AI doesn't know what to do with long-range missiles. Not the way I'd like a Jenner. I mean, okay. It's a Jenner F. That is also a Jenner F. Okay, so that was a waste of fuel. House Kurita doesn't like me much either, and there's a good reason for that. A, they're dicks, and B, did I say they were dicks? They're dicks. I've been fighting against them pretty consistently. Let me check the barracks. 15, 22, no, terrible. I'm gonna bob back to Marduk. Marduk. Oh yeah, let's zoom out. So this is, yeah, they really did, and I'm pretty sure absolutely all of these are visitable. It would take you a year to get there, but you can't. It would take too long. Yeah, you can see the trail you would take, which is, I believe, intended to be the shortest. You even have planets that just aren't friggin' named here. Um, and obviously the travel costs would be pretty formidable. Um, but yeah, you can theoretically travel anywhere here, and they all have different like random encounters and stuff. I could also go to Terra, but I think that would probably be a terrible plan. Um, I don't actually know what Terra would do for me, other than me like knocking on Comstar's door and be like, "Hey, what up?" And they'll be like, "Hey, what up? Have you paid your phone bill lately?" And up to the north this way, we have the clans somewhere. Way. Oh wow. Oh boy. What have I done? Um, gulp. Well, that's pretty broken. I don't think they expected you to do that. You think? Let's So it's some kind of an interactable skybox there. Let's see if we can do it from the bottom too. Probably. Yep. There it is. There's this red grid line connoting that it is a spherical object, which is a nice touch, even though the map they have is clearly two-dimensional. Can we get it on the sides? Oh, you bet. You bet we can do it on the sides. I wonder if anyone's done that. I should probably check to see if they've got that in their bugs. I don't know what they would do to fix that. It doesn't really matter, I guess. So, right now we are in, I believe this is Davion space. This is Steiner space over here. That's Kurita, House Kurita space. Um, this is, oh, I can't believe I've forgotten their names already. Rasselhag? Is that Rasselhag? And then this is Marek space. These are all houses, great houses, that own these or operate these territories. Terra is um, not owned by them. There are reasons for that. Okay, so nothing really impressive there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to Marlowe's Rift, and I'm just gonna see what missions they have available. And because we're opportunistic carrion eaters, like most mercenary companies with their salt, um, without being outright villainous, we don't want to be villains per se, because we want people to actually give us contracts. I want to see. Oh, here we go. Support Kurita or Davion. Well, Kurita's going to have a pretty good reward. 3 things versus 2 things. 348, 500, 260 rep. Versus 3 items. I don't know about honorless. That is not how I would describe them per se, but they do try a little too hard sometimes. Let's check the barracks, see if I did see that correctly, right? Maybe not. Let's see. Employing factions. They've got raid contracts. Very common. 55 ton. Jeez. Yeah, stuff's getting big. I'm not seeing anything above 55, which is good. Means we don't have to worry about fighting assaults yet. That doesn't come till later. Um, very rare 55 ton. It's probably like a Griffin variant or something. I wouldn't worry too much about that right there. Oh, here we go. You even have who fields what. That's cute. I like that. I like that. I like this disposition chart. It basically tells you your odds of encountering a given who's what's it at any given time. 45 ton. There aren't many 45 ton mechs out there. It's possibly another Phoenix Hawk variant or another Blackjack. I don't have a Blackjack. I kind of like one. They're kind of like a Jaeger mech, except smaller. And then you have, above the Jaeger mech, you have Rifleman, which is like a Jaeger, but bigger. Also unseen, so probably not present at a guess. These are all raids, and they're all fairly high difficulty. I'm going to, real quick, at home, I'm going to make a save here. I'm going to probably delete some of these. I'm going to delete you. I'm going to make a new save. Marlowe's Rift. Davion V. There we go. We'll do that. House Davion and House Kurita do not like each other much. There are good reasons for that. One, House Kurita are kind of a bunch of dicks, and two, Davion don't take kindly to dickery at all. They're not dickery fans. They're not big on the whole dickery thing. Um, I'm tempted to go with that PPC variant and give that a whirl and see if my AI allies can put in work with the other, but I don't trust them to keep the arm from being blown off, is the bottom line there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this home button, I'm going to check to see Noble Cause, and I'm going to accept this. And I'm going to go check the star map for where I need to go to do all that jive. It is down here in Allerton. That is going to cost me some money to get to. That's fine. we'll do it. Take 34 days. I think the guy who got injured is long healed by now because I've been out and about and doing stuff for some time. Oh, there's a hero mech on the mark. Crap, now I need to check that out. Why didn't I see that earlier? Jeez. Maybe it wasn't there. It is on kind of like a calendar rotation, semi-randomized. I don't quite know how that's set up yet. I know it is. There is a bunch of RNG and replayability. Um, so far, the game is mostly... It's Cicada? Shoot, that's a well-armed cicada. That's a very expensive but well-armed cicada. Ooh, they have dragons? Ooh. Dragons are pretty cool. I rather like dragons. What is the 1C? I think the 1C just has a smaller ballistic slot. You can, I think, theoretically get into the good graces of everyone by grinding a lot. Um, one of the practical, because you lose less standing than you gain. You lose less standing with someone who you're making dislike you and taking action against than you gain from somebody that you're doing favors for, so to speak. So I would definitely want the AC5 wielding variant because that at least has a chance of being a medium slot, so you could put like an AC10 on there or a few other things. But I don't know enough about... It'd probably have to be the Dragon 1N versus the 1C. That's a hell of a cicada. Oh, so this is the laser variant of the... or energy variant, I should say. It has a large laser slot, so you could put a PPC on that guy. Of the Centurion. I don't know. Part of me is sorely tempted, but part of me is like, SRM2s, really? And then the rest of me is like, but cicadas are really hard to kill. Because they're very compact. And fast. And they're only 40 tons. Then again, this is also 9 million C-bills. So I think I can probably live without. But I'm tempted. I can afford it. You know what? I'm going to do it. Too late now. Let's see what they've got for kit. No, 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 no. Yes. They're expensive, but they'll be worth it. Probably. Any ammo, rare and exotic ammo types? Probably not. I haven't seen fancy ammo for like my LB-10X, and now I guess the UAC, that hasn't been in on a planet where that one was being sold. So what's the point of selling you the weapon if you can't get ammo to, yeah. So we're going to get those, and that is going to conclude our spending for the foreseeable future. Everything else is going to go to repairs and building up enough money to buy like an assault mech when those start appearing, which is probably sooner than I'd like. Let's go to our battle mechs menu, and I'm thinking probably strip my Jenner or the Shadowhawk. Yeah, strip the Shadowhawk. Yeah. Or the Panther. I don't really need the Panther here. I don't need the Panther. Edit loadout. Strip mech, strip armor. Start work. And I'm going to transfer that into my storage, and I'm probably going to wind up selling this cicada and calling it a day on that. But I have to actually do that. Because right now I've got a Griffin, which is like the Panther, but doesn't die. I'll keep the Jaeger in my roster for now, though I've got to tweak its armor at some point. I'll worry about that later. I have also read reports vis-a-vis that trebuchet we saw earlier. I've read some reports that indicate...
Won't let you down, Commander. I've trained for this.
Nope, you're not. You're not. Chirico QV? No, no. They have nice portraits. I prefer these portraits over the other ones that I have, but I'm not going to leave it to Beaver, as it were. Captain Beaver was born on a secure world in the Davion interior that saw little conflict. Despite this, he was filled with nationalistic zeal to serve his great house. He, however, quickly realized that the life of a merc was far more profitable than being a loyalist, so he broke away from the Federated Sons to strike it out on his own. He has only seen battle a handful of times in his short career, and it shows. He thinks he can be the hero the Inner Sphere deserves. Captain Beaver is sorely delusional.
You
They
look
have
for a dedicated gunner?
sometimes they have really confusing
Affirmative, Commander.
mismatched
I'll be in the hangar for pre-drop
gender stuff where
checkpoints.
somebody will like be referred to as a he and a she within like the same sentence, which is embarrassing.
Bread and ready, Commander.
Okay, well, we are going to go to the star map, and now that we've burned a colossal amount of our potential funding, um, we're going to travel down here. And we are going to make things work for us. I'm probably going to have to take some of these demolition contracts, and that is probably what I'm going to do in order to get a bit more cash in my coffers. If I can get up to like 15 mil, I'll feel a bit more comfortable. Because while I'm in these areas, my everything costs are higher. Because they're conflict areas. I think the House Steiner area is where, on the opposite side of the galaxy, obviously, is where I want to go when I want to start getting fancy, really fancy kit. And I think stuff like, no, these are all pretty basic. I don't need any of that. If there's any like UAC ammo, no, there isn't. Okay, battle mechs. I'm gonna store you. Confirm. I'm gonna leave a slot open because that makes it easier for me to actually get mech salvage. Ooh, I have a sneeze. I lied. I don't have a sneeze. It was one of those that just appears and vanishes. Demolition contracts aren't too hard. That could be tricky. I have also gathered that the campaign does not fart around. It gets quite challenging. With eyes downcast. What do we got? We have more salvage shares we can get from this one here, so I will start with that. And hopefully we won't take much damage in the process. Wouldn't that be sweet? I am actually going to use the PPC variant. Go. And see if he can wield that thing pretty well while I wield this thing as well as I'm going to wield it. I hope. I am pretty tempted to give him the cicada. When in doubt, go with tonnage. When in doubt. That's a good point. But yeah, these are my two sub-pilots that I have that are pretty good. I'm going to be using the long-range missiles quite a bit. This is going to be tricky because I've got pretty significant cooldown on the PPC. So I'm going to have to, and both of those weapons run pretty hot. So I have to be a little careful of that. But other than that, also hopefully build, let's see, I've got avoiding enemy fire, which I think is just, and I'm not 100% sure how these math out. Um, I know they, improve things. I believe the way the increases the chance of avoiding enemy fire is it kind of applies a modifier to any enemy shooting at you, where they'll kind of shoot around an area that they're targeting, as opposed to shooting at that target. Improves their chance to miss, basically. Um, and this, I think, is just like a percent damage reduction. It's probably not very much. Probably at rank 10, it's like 10%, which would still be substantial when you're getting hit by like an AC 20. Because AC-20s cause the hurt. Shocking, I know. I'm going to just check to see if there's anybody interesting at their barracks. There is not, so we're not going to worry about it. We're going to disarm us some dissidents. Mostly, though, we're going to kill the targets as quickly as possible, then move on. Just to get the money and whatever salvage they give us, which won't be very much in all likelihood, as things go. Okay, so we got a PPC and a lot of worm ammo.
Our employer wants it gone, and we aim to please. Light that complex up
So,
like a New Year's
if you're watching my
celebration,
heat
Commander.
gauge, then watch my heat gauge. So that's this thing in the lower left-hand corner. Oh my gosh, something's shooting at me. So you see, with my engine revved and me moving forward, it gets up to about like 8 heat, I think, 7, 8. I'm gonna fire my PPC once. My heat just spiked up to 25, so I have to use this thing very sparingly. However,
Target acquired.
if I don't miss,
Enemy destroyed.
oh, that's embarrassing. And which arm is hurt? I think it's my left arm, so we're okay. Left arm damage is fine. Right arm damage is not fine. On the plus side, PPCs bring the pain. They hit pretty hard. Not as hard as an AC-20. Not as... I don't think they hit as hard as a Gauss. But they hit pretty reasonably hard.
Target acquired.
Not enough to kill that guy.
Target destroyed.
Target identified. Bring it down.
Okay.
Left for them to salvage.
Ow.
Target
Tango down.
Running pretty hot, but not too bad. Not too bad. I just blew a bloody warehouse. We do, don't we? I'm just gonna blind fire these missiles to cause damage to their buildings.
We're making progress, but still have a long way to go. Keep at it, everyone.
Oh, oh.
Integrity of this place is down to 50%.
Sugar.
We're halfway there.
acquired.
Ships into your target, Commander.
A hit, a palpable hit.
Eliminated.
I missed. That was not a miss. This too is not a miss. He's hurt.
You heard the commander. Take that target.
I did not hit him with that. So in Mechwarrior Online, PPCs do splash damage, and in here they really don't, I don't think. Instead, we just leg things to death. Ow. Go away.
Amazing, Commander.
There we go.
That's even going critical.
That's not good. Well, it's fine, because it's fancy, but it's not good, because I'm too near it. There we go.
This area is on its last legs, Commander. Just one final push, and then we can all go home.
So we've delayed quite a lot here, which is not great. I'm gonna clean this place up because Freeman, I think, lost a limb.
Our employer to be very satisfied with this result. Head to the evac point for extraction.
I'm just gonna head for evac, I don't care.
Target is down.
I'm stuck in apparently a druid sacrifice bath? Maybe? There we go. I'm out of it. It's okay, guys. We're out of the blood sacrifice bathtub. So I'm going to be switching back to the laser one because I can do that a bit more manageably. You can keep up the damage better.
Target acquired.
Just getting in here.
Our window for extraction is closing. Let's get out of here.
Sure thing. Okay. Tempted to take that other contract and be a bit more efficient this time. There we go. Rank 6. We're reliable. Your reputation across the inner sphere is growing, and potential employers are inquiring about your services, and new employment opportunities have become available on the star map. That's good. Okay. Value. Any ammo there? We don't need heat sinks. We're fine. I was reading one of the forums. Maybe it was the Reddit. I don't know. It was some place where degenerates hang out. And most of the conversation there was pretty intelligent. But there was this one thread where someone was complaining about their horrible lack of heat sinks, and I think it was heat sinks and something else for repair and rearm, and how they just never had any. And I was just like, but I have an incredible surplus. Are you taking salvage? I didn't actually respond on the thread. Oh, he leveled up. How nice. What leveled up for him? Must have been heat management. I don't know how good that is for the AI. The AI is not especially aggressive in that regard. Heat management for me improved. That's good. That's just going to be a lot of armor and maybe a little structural, so that's not a big deal. He lost an arm, but it was the good arm to lose? Good arm to lose, yes. Actually, I don't think he lost the arm. Let me find out. Edit loadout. He did not, in fact, completely lose the arm. He just took damage to it. Pretty heavy structural damage, but the arm is not gone. So we're just going to repair all. Start Woik. Fortunately, we just got paid, so we're going to repair, start, and repair, start. If this were Mechwarrior Online, I would not be using this thing because its head is huge, and it's only got one arm, but this is not Mechwarrior Online. You will probably not see me playing Mechwarrior Online. Not often, anyway. There are reasons for this. I am... What were the other contracts? Oh, right. Let's see. Yeah, I'll do this one. I'm also in good with Davion, so this gives me even more points to work with, but just improving my standing has improved my the amount of negotiation points I have as well. That's going to help. I'm going to cover most of my damage coverage. Again, damage coverage does not cover, does not actually replace components. It only gives you C-bills equivalent to what was lost. So if you lose an important, valuable component, well, you're assed out. I'm going to go to the market and I'm going to sell a few of these extra things that I got. The other way, there we go. No, yes. That should be fine for now, I think. I'll sell those two, a couple of those too. I don't really need them. I don't need that many of them, I should say. I don't, strictly speaking, need that many medium lasers, but medium lasers are kind of bread and butter. So, like, a lot of things have slots for medium energy slots, so medium lasers, just having a bunch of spare is not a bad plan at all. I'm going to wait, and we're going to wait, and we are going to go to contracts and do noble cause. I don't know who these guys are. I'm going to negotiate for salvage, because that can get me a medium mech right there. 200 tonnage limit. Ooh, I can bring another body. Sweet. We're broadcasting under the strictest of confidentiality. This message comes on behalf of the workers and residents living in the star systems controlled by the Apex Mining Syndicate. We're being literally worked to death, reduced to little more than slaves to help pad the Syndicate's bottom line. We've grown tired of the non-existent pay, low rations, and pitiful living conditions. Greedy companies like Apex only understand one language, the almighty C-bill, so we have to hit 'em right in their pocketbook to get their attention. I swear I've read this text before. For this contract, we've marked 2 critical installations that, if destroyed, will hurt Apex and hopefully force them to negotiation table so we can take back control of our lives. Well, that's okay. What's the worst that can happen? Don't answer that. No, I wanted to choose a pilot. Thank you. Probably Alfred. Yeah. Oh no, Branham. I definitely want Branham. I forgot that I had gotten Captain Branham. And we have how many tons free? Is it 40? 40 tons free. Which means I'm thinking the Kikaida. Yep, that's how it looks. Boom shakalaka. And let's go to our battle mechs and paint that thing so I can actually see it. The last thing I want to do, again, I'm not doing these bright colors to make anybody upset. I'm doing this because I need to actually see. See, for a hero mech, I don't see the actual paint job variants, unfortunately. I thought they were supposed to have them. It must be stuff like the Ilium Muromets and the Yenlo Wang that do, and not all of them have, yeah. So let's go Rasselhog. Oh hey, that is like shiny stuff. That's cool. I didn't know that. So tertiary will stay the same because it's like a bronze. Oh, Raider. Is that, maybe that's the, because I don't recognize that color. Whatever. Go with that. And primary can be, see, that's probably bright enough as is. Though we can make this, of course, a red so that we can actually see it. Actually, I'm going to flip that. I'm going to make that a red. A dark red, I think, actually worked nicely. And make you a green-ish color. There we go. That should pop pretty nicely. Unless, of course, I want to change the colors to be something that makes the metallic pop out. But, eh. Eh. I like it. We're taking it. Let's do it. All right, contracts. Let's do this. Ah, right. Thank you for reminding me. Griffin 1S. There we go. Just swapping that around because that'll make it easier for me. Because I can manage my weapon cooldowns and the like a bit better. Their laser stuff isn't as good, and they don't have any real missile skills to improve there, but yeah, they're not all that well-rounded, are they? Mostly ballistic, so in fact, I may just swap you to you. There we go. That should be fine. Yes, it should. All right, let's do it, and hope it goes well. So, as ever, we want to rotate our left side so that oh, don't mind that awful clicking noise. That is just a fan on my computer dying.
Prepare for battle mech departure.
Gonna have to fiddle with that.
Warning. Hangar doors opening. Stand clear.
Reactor online.
It's funny, related to
Sensors
horrible paint
online.
schemes and how I have
Weapons
bright, garish, clashing
online.
colors. I was playing
All systems
Warframe with someone
nominal.
the other day who
I
I've
suspect
played
you're going to enjoy this one,
Warframe with a
Commander.
lot,
I've marked on your
and
map the two
we were doing some
structures you need to
railjack stuff
destroy.
together.
Take them out, along with any enemy forces in the area. Then meet me at
And
the
he's like,
extraction point.
so
Good
we
luck.
start a mission where where I wind up choosing, hey, I'll choose the navigation target destination, and so we do it. The mission starts, and he's like, I'm pretty sure that it chose my vessel, and I'm like, you're probably right. And I'm like looking at stats, and I'm like, oh, because my railjack is fairly okay, and his was had better weapons, but less armor and stuff on his railjack in that. And then he's like, no, 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 it has nothing to do with stats. I can't. it's, it's not your colors. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not blind. And I'm like, oh, that's a fair point. Okay, so we've got to go to these two locations. I'm going to go for this distant one first because I'm capricious like that. Plus, it means I get to run over more trees. These are pretty tall trees. I almost feel guilty. Also, massive props again to whoever did the soundtrack for this. It's baller. Oh, something shooteth.
Target acquired.
What are you? You're just a tank.
Target destroyed.
There we go. Still remain largely untouched. That's fairly impressive. He said as he got shot.
Enemy eliminated.
I think I got him. Enemy eliminated. I agree. Want to go down this so I don't damage my legs? Hey, what do you know? So, like, 3/4 of the salvage you get from any given mission is probably... Got him.
Target acquired.
Nice. That's going to be outside its range, I think.
Scratch
Oh.
that target off the list.
Ooh. Oh, let's find that mech that's causing us problems. It's a locust, so I don't really care. Something else landed over there. Oh, I need to get out of here. I'm getting shot. It's because it's my torso mount.
Target destroyed.
There we go.
Tango down!
Target acquired.
Okay. I've taken some hits, but nothing terrible.
Target down.
No armor breaking yet.
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed. Target
My kill.
Okay, who's damaged on my team? Not actually all that many. What do we got? We got a Shadowhawk. I aimed for his cockpit, but that didn't work. I'd kind of like a spare shot. Oh dear.
incoming missile. New target acquired.
Which leg is the damaged one? That leg.
Enemy destroyed.
Branham is hurting, but I think it's just armor break. Where are you?
Target acquired.
Ow.
Target destroyed. Target acquired.
Splash target!
Destroyed.
Someone just hit me fair. Oh, gosh.
Target acquired.
I got it!
Target destroyed. Target acquired. Target destroyed.
There we go. So let's move to our other objective area here. I'm hurt, but I'm not broken. That Centurion. I can't wait till I can replace that Centurion with something else. I might wind up using the Shadowhawk if I can get away with it.
I got it!
He did indeed got it. Something else up here.
Target
There we go.
acquired. Target destroyed.
Target is down.
Surprised at how little of that exploded. I'm not gonna complain though.
Target is down.
Lots of armor damage on me. Soon it'll be structural, but we're actually doing alright. My gun arm is doing pretty okay too, which is really nice. Yes.
Target
guards of every major corporation ever. Whatever we can get away with, am I right? Ah, capitalism. There we go. Yeah, let's just get out of here.
Tack it up, Commander, before more enemies arrive.
I probably won't be able to get the Shadowhawk, but we'll see. We'll see if it pops up. We did leg it. That improves our odds of getting it as salvage. Taking out the head, the cockpit rather, is improves your odds dramatically. I don't know what the hard numbers are for how much that improves your odds of getting something as salvage, but it certainly does. It certainly do. There we go. I forget what the highest reputation you can get is. I think it's above 10, and it can keep going up. But I believe this is a multi-part mission. No mechs at all? Wow, fine, jeez. Be that way. It'd have been nice. AC2, AC2, blah, blah, blah. Blah. And any ammo? Nope. No. Not too bad. Didn't take enough damage to use up any of the damage payout that I didn't actually have. Indentured IMC employees, Interstellar Mining Corp. They are not happy with me, but not by much. This is fun. He never actually lost the arm, to his credit. And the cicada is basically fine. Kind of broad spectrum damage. I took it pretty bad because I'm a big source of aggro. Big source of aggro. Huge, in fact. Okay, so his armor skill is capped out, as is his avoidance. Hers is not, so I'll probably be using her a bit more now. Just making sure to put her in something that doesn't have too many missiles. She can't really improve much in that regard. Me, absolutely anything goes, really. And I don't know I don't know the numbers of how much those skills actually change things. SRM4, rank 2, and a rank 2, or tier 2, large laser, that's pretty good. I'll take it. Not pulse lasers. A large pulse laser is the dream. I'd like one of those. I'm now going to set everything here to be repaired. Not much because it's just armor. Not much because it's just armor. It's a lot of armor. Any structural damage? No, none. And for you, what? I don't think we lost any weapons. Armor, just a bit of structure in there. Yeah. Not too shabby. I think we did pretty well. I may wind up bringing the Shadowhawk along because it has quite a bit of gun. Okay, that went well, I thought. So I'm gonna go talk to her, and that is gonna have to wrap it up for today.
Hello, Commander. I've just received a transmission from Spears. I thought you should hear it firsthand.
Rihanna, Commander. I've been trying to find out more information on Black Inferno as you requested. What I uncovered is quite intriguing. Based on several reports from regional governments, combined with my own intelligence sources, I've been able to track some of Inferno's movements. Those movements correspond very closely with areas of increased refugee displacement within the Inner Sphere. Now, I believe the two are connected. How they're connected or why, I don't know yet. But when I do, I'll be in touch.
Interesting. I'm hoping we can use that confluence of events to help us track Inferno down. Make them pay for what they did. Right now, though, we need to keep earning money and increasing our combat strength if we hope to win that fight. if and when it finally comes. Our newest contract appears to be the result of Inferno activity, just as Spears described. After an Inferno attack inside Marek territory, Marek refugees fled for their lives. Their only path of escape was across the border into Liao territory. House Liao is refusing the refugees free passage back to Marek space, with the intent of destabilizing the contested border region. Not surprisingly, House Marek is incensed over the matter. All their diplomatic efforts have thus far been rebuffed. That's only exacerbated the situation. It's gotten to the point now that Marek have decided to take a different tack. They want us to send a message to House Liao by assassinating the local governor overseeing the detention of the refugees. Pretty sure that'll get their attention. The mission briefing has already been prepared, Commander. We leave on your orders.
Copy that.
For what it's worth, Spears did not ask for this. I never asked for this. Yes, he is indeed Adam Jensen from the recent, or the main character, whatever his name is, from the recent Deus Ex games. Good for them. It's Lau, not Rasselhag. Is Rasselhag even here? Probably not. So it's Lau and Marek. Okay. So yeah, that is going to have to basically do it for me today. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. If you tuned in, if you didn't tune in, that's fine too. I forgive you. Um, as ever, I do multiple streams throughout the week. This is Mecha Mondays, where I do something Mecha related every Monday. On Wednesdays, I do Warframe Wednesdays, which is Warframe related stuff. And then on Saturday, I do Storytime Saturdays, where I read stories. In this case, I've been reading aloud Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash. Things are moving along pretty handily there. It's pretty awesome. Recommend tuning in. All right, folks. Thanks again, and have a great day.